Hello, welcome back to our stress seminar series. Today we're going to talk about the relationship between our emotions, stress, and the food that we eat. Last class, we spoke how our beliefs are created from early childhood and how they affect our decision-making process. Today, we're going to link it to our decision-making process when it has to do with food. As you know, there is so much information out there on what diet I should follow. I know it's hard to decide what is the best thing for us, but it is difficult to decide what plan will be the best plan for my health. We are all so different. We have different metabolisms, different body shapes, different histories, different habits. And it's difficult to choose a good plan that will fit my health, my lifestyle, and that will help me stay healthy. Also, we want this plan to help us create energy and help us restore any damage that stress might be causing in our body. As you can see in this chart, there are plans that promote low carbohydrate eating, and there are plans that promote low fat eating. On the low carbohydrate eating, we have the ketogenic plans or the Atkins plans. That the ketogenic one promotes eating a lot of fat and very little carbohydrates, and the Atkins promotes eating more protein and less carbohydrates. And then we have the other extreme, that we have the low fat, which are some plans like Dr. Ornish, the vegan or vegetarian lifestyles, and then we have the middle of the road, which we can call the Mediterranean plan, the Paleolithic plan, and there's a lot of mixed balance plans. So what is the best plan for you? I know that when we're trying to choose a plan that is healthy for me, that will help me re-energize my body, we also want it to be a plan that will help me stay in a healthy weight. Many of us have challenges losing weight. Sometimes we choose a plan, we lose some weight, and then we go back to our old habits of eating. The biggest challenges when we choose a plan is adherence. You have to ask yourself some questions. Can I eat this way for the rest of my life? If the plan that I'm choosing, the meals that I'm eating, do they make me happy? Do they make me feel full of energy, ready to start the day? Or do I feel cranky or deprived because I'm not eating the foods that I like? All those questions will help you decide what is the best plan of eating for you. Another big issue that we have with different plans is that they prohibit you to eat many things. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And a lot of prohibitions, all it does is that when we eat them again, we eat too much of it and we can't stop eating it because we felt that we couldn't eat our favorite food for a long time. Also, they might make us feel hungry all the time. And nobody likes to feel that they have no choice of what they can or cannot eat. Some people develop anxiety because of that. And then when we go back and eat the things that we were not supposed to eat, then we feel all guilty and sometimes full of shame. And these cycles repeat over and over again. We start a plan, we do it for a few days, for a few weeks, for a few months, we start losing weight, we start regaining our health, and then we start eating the food that we're not supposed to eat, and then we start feeling guilty, then we eat more of the food that we're not supposed to eat, then we're feeling more shame, and then that triggers more eating of what we're not supposed to eat, and then eventually we just give up on the plan altogether. So what does our mindset have to do with what nutritional plan I'm going to choose to eat for my health? The same way we create our beliefs, and the beliefs affect our emotions for our daily routines, we also create beliefs about our food, the foods that we choose to eat. And normally, we love to eat what we used to eat when we were little and we liked it. We call it our comfort food. Do you remember seeing the movie Ratatouille? How he plays to the emotions and cooks and helps people go back to childhood so they can taste the same food their mama used to make? Food does that for us. The smell of food, the textures, all these deliciousness trigger our memories and they help us feel good. So a lot of food that we choose and like to eat make us feel good. And if a lot of the choices that we make of the food that makes us feel good are not healthy for us, then we can harm our bodies. So we have to be careful on what are we choosing to put in our body. Is it increasing our health or is harming us? And if we have a strong link to a certain food that brings me back to my childhood and I like to eat it more often, is there a way that I could make it healthier for me? That I could transform that item, that food, that recipe into making it healthier for me? There is a study done by Dr. Alia Crum from the University of Columbia. This is really interesting study where they gave these candidates a shake. The first shake they gave them, it said that it had 620 calories, that it was a very decadent shake. And everybody that drank this shake felt completely satisfied and they didn't feel hungry for a long time. And then they gave them a different shake. And this shake, it said that it only had 120 calories and it was a light shake. And people reported that after drinking this shake, they felt hungry, that they didn't feel satisfied. To their surprise, they were drinking exactly the same recipe. So it had a lot to do with their mindset, with the perception. When they perceived they were drinking a decadent one full of calories, they felt satisfied. But when they perceived that this shake was just very low calories, they automatically felt hungrier after they drank the shake. And they measured the ghrelin hormone. This is a hormone that when it's high in our system, it makes us hungry. So apparently our belief, our expectations that we're not eating enough, that we're gonna be hungry, it triggers this hormone and it makes us hungry. So when ghrelin is high, our hunger is high. So what happens with these individuals that were tested? The ones that thought that were drinking a decadent, high calorie shake, their ghrelin went down. And the individuals, when they measured the ghrelin in the blood, for the ones that were drinking the light version of the shake, their ghrelin went up when they measured it in the blood. This shows us that our beliefs, our expectations, our mindset have a huge influence on how our metabolism responds, how our hormones respond, and how happy I can or won't be regarding an item of food that I eat or drink. Our mindset is like a lens or a frame of mind which orients an individual to a particular set of associations and expectations. We talked a lot about this when we were on our first class of stress and mindset. And we talked how our mindset could either help us or harm us. That if we think about stress as something that we could learn from or as an opportunity to learn, that then this stressful event is going to help us. But if we think of stress as something that is going to harm us, then that is going to happen. The same response is happening with food. If we think this is a good food that is going to be good for me and it's going to satisfy me, then we're going to get the correct response from our body. But if we're constantly thinking that this is not good enough for me, that I'm going to be hungry, that I still want the food that I am craving, then our hormonal response is going to follow that way of thinking. All of us have different things that will satisfy our appetite. I remember when our kids were little and they will come back from school, one will go to the refrigerator, get carrots and cucumbers, and get a piece of lemon, and she will put her cucumbers in the lemon and eat them like that. And the other one will make herself a grilled cheese sandwich. I had the same things in the refrigerator for whoever wanted to eat. They both chose completely different. They both had different things that will satisfy their appetite. And we are all completely different. And these habits, we create them from early childhood. And as we grow up and become adults, we reinforce the habits and we make them part of our daily routines. Have you noticed that sometimes when we go to the restaurant and then you get the bill and you end up spending way more than what you wanted or anticipated, and you realize that you order with your emotions instead of with your head, because the menus are created to do that for us. They created to play with our emotions, so we ordered things that will bring us happiness and good memories so we can enjoy our meals. So how can we figure it out? What would be a good plan for me to eat? Do I eat the beach plan? Do I go vegan? Do I go Ornish? What would be the best plan for me? And I will ask you this question. When you think of your childhood, do you remember if you were healthy or you were sick all the time? I'm going to tell you from my experience. When I thought of my childhood, I remember I had a lot of issues with bronchitis. I remember getting bronchitis often. And I remember my mom talking to the doctor on the phone and him sending the prescription for antibiotics. And just that phone call, it will make me cry, because back then they will give us the antibiotics in injections. And so I remember receiving a lot of that. So there was something that was happening with me that was not right completely, because it turned out that all those bronchitis had to do with allergies, not with infections per se. So through the years, I had a lot of allergies that I dealt with. When I was little, I had a lot of bronchitis, a lot of allergic bronchitis. Then during middle school, I developed rashes on my skin. And then when I was high school and early in university, I remember having a lot of sinuses problems, a lot of allergic sinusitis. So that's my history on my childhood. You can do the same with yours. So if you had a lot of issues like I did, then I know that there was something that I was doing that it wasn't right for me. The reason I started falling in love with nutrition back when I was in medical school is because I had an event. I was going through a lot of stress back early in medical school, and I was in a lot of pain. The doctors didn't know what to do or how to help me. So I ended up doing a raw diet to improve my health. And I eliminated all the grains, the legumes, eggs, dairy, everything except raw fruits and vegetables. I ate to my content. I ate all I wanted of fruits and vegetables, and that's all I ate. After a couple of weeks of eating like that, my pain was gone and I felt fantastic. I kept it for several months and I felt really, really good. My allergies disappeared, my pain disappeared. So I started learning how, by changing what I eat, I can heal my body. I can give my body what it needs. What can we do in order to reduce the damage that stress has done in our body. Help our body get re-energized again through nutrition. How can we choose the correct things to eat? Like I mentioned to you, I was eating vegetables and fruits. I understand that we cannot all do that. It's difficult. But what we could do is we could add a lot of vegetables and fruits to the current diets that we're having. If you're used to eating some vegetables, you can increase the amount a little bit more and a little bit less of the other food groups. A second strategy that might help us choose a healthier plan for us is take control of our environment. There's some things that I love eating that if I have them at home, I will eat them. One of them is ice cream. I love 31 flavors chocolate mint ice cream. If it's in my house, I will eat it. So I can only get a little bit of it at a time because I have a very hard time not eating ice cream. So one of the things that I can do to help me control my environment is don't bring things that cause temptation for you into your home. Keep your freezer full of things that you can eat that will help you increase your energy and health and bring down your stress response. Have lots of fruits and vegetables available for you to eat. So when you're hungry, there's something that you can eat. Make sure that there's easy food available for you, because when we're hungry, we're just gonna go open the refrigerator and grab something. But if you already have chopped cucumbers or chopped celery or baby carrots and you have several spreads there made out of beans or any other spreads that you will like, then you can grab them and satisfy your hunger without the need of eating something that is not good for you. A third strategy that we could use is making your old recipes or the childhood recipes into a healthier version of what they used to be. For example, let's say you love macaroni and cheese. You can add health to your macaroni and cheese in several ways. Number one, let's say you keep the pasta the same way. First, don't cook the pasta so much. Try to leave it al dente, because if the pasta is al dente, it takes a little longer for the glucose to be released from the carbohydrates, and so it takes a little longer to increase the glucose levels in your bloodstream. Second, instead of just putting the cheese sauce, you could add vegetables into the cheese sauce. Like for example, you could cook some cauliflower with some garlic and then blend it, and then you add it to your sauce. Tastes really good. The sauce stills really good, so you can reduce the amount of sauce and increase the amount of cauliflower. And at the beginning you can just do like a 25% of cauliflower, and then eventually like 50%, and you can be changing it slowly until you eat mostly vegetable and just a little bit of sauce. And since you're already eating a lot of simple carbohydrates with the pasta, instead of adding another carbohydrate with the bread, make sure that you eat it with another side of vegetable or with a fresh tossed salad. When you order pizza, instead of ordering the thick deep dish pizzas, try to order the one with the thinnest crust, so it's less simple carbohydrate, and try to fill them up with vegetables and ask them for a low cheese amount. That way it's lower in fat and doesn't have so much simple carbohydrates. Eat your 2 pieces of pizza and eat an abundant salad on the side. If you love tacos, instead of frying them, you could just use the tortilla warmed up on a pan, and instead of eating 6 tacos like you normally do, you can eat just half of that, 3 tacos, but then you can eat a lot of side vegetables that will go well with a taco, like jicama, cucumbers, and that will help you feel more satisfied. You can enjoy your tacos and eat some of the vegetables on the side. A fourth strategy would be plan ahead. Like we were mentioning about the environment, having things in your refrigerator that you can eat that won't bring you temptations to eat the wrong things. That is part of planning ahead. When we want to eat healthier, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's so easy. No, eating more fruits and vegetables takes more work. You have to prep them and you have to have them ready. If when you're hungry, that's when you're going to start preparing your meals, it's very unlikely that you're going to go for a healthy meal. You're going to grab whatever is available, or a Taco Bell or a burger. So in order for you to choose healthier choices, it's important that we prepared. What I like to do is, like on Sundays when I'm going to prepare the meals for my husband, because I have to give him a lunch and a dinner because he worked 12-hour days. So I prepare the vegetables that he's going to eat throughout the week on Sunday, on one day. So I roast a lot of vegetables in the oven: carrots, cauliflower, broccoli. I saute some zucchini, mushrooms. I also can make our stir fried. And then he chooses throughout the week what vegetables he's gonna eat with the black rice or quinoa. And he can choose different vegetables that he can eat with the different grains or legumes that I have prepared for him. If you eat meat, to that base of vegetables and grain or legume, you can also add a little bit of pieces of chicken or beef or any other protein that you decide. Our fifth strategy is our period of eating time and our period of fasting time. If you're used to eating throughout the day, you wake up and eat a little bit and then you keep eating throughout the day until late at night, this way you're triggering the wrong hormones. You want your body to get into a routine that at a specific time your hunger hormones go up, and at a specific time your hunger hormones go down. So you enter into these positive cycles of rejuvenation and restoration. Science is showing us that if we have more than 12 hours of fasting, for example, if your last meal the night before was at 6 p.m., 12 hours of fasting is so easy because it will take us to 6 a.m. But the longer that you wait after the last meal, it will be better for you. You will have a longer fasting time. Unfortunately, some people eat until very late, just before going to bed. And remember how we talked in the prior classes that eating too late is going to trigger your insulin, and your insulin is going to be elevated, and that's going to disturb the other hormones that need to be triggered at night. So we don't want that to happen. So we recommend that the last meal should be 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime. We have these two hormones that regulate our appetite, our hunger. The first one, we already talked about it, the ghrelin. It's produced in our stomach and in our small intestine, our pancreas, and in our brain. And this ghrelin stimulates our appetite and increases our food intake and promotes fat storage. The leptin is the opposite of ghrelin. Leptin is really good because it boosts our metabolism and regulates our body weight. But it's secreted in a different place. This one is secreted from our fat cells, and levels are correlated with our body fat percentage. I understand that changing our habits, our eating habits, is challenging. We have a certain way of eating from childhood. It's the food that we like, and when we're faced to having to change it because we might have some health issues, it's difficult. But my proposal to you is that you don't have to change everything all at once. That every week you could change one thing about your diet that needs improving, like we mentioned in the several strategies today. As you change and you create new habits and your refrigerator is full of healthy things, but you still have those temptations there that might call your name, like for me, ice cream, we can use this technique. It's called stop. So the S for stop means you scan your body and then you see, what am I feeling at this moment? Am I anxious? Am I nervous? Am I stressed? That way you'll see that if you're eating because you have emotional challenges or because you're truly hungry. Once you scan your body and discover that you might be anxious about something or stressed about something, now you have some tools into how you can calm yourself down. That is the S for stop. Then is the T. What are you thinking? Are you upset for something that happened at work today? Are you upset with your partner, your kids, and that state of mind is pushing you to the refrigerator? Then this stop is going to give you an opportunity to regain your composure and realize that you're not truly hungry, that you just want to comfort yourself. The O is out with the old. The old me that eats whenever, eats whatever, my doctor tells me that it needs to change. That maybe I develop diabetes, maybe I develop hypertension, and it's time for me to stop giving excuses and start a new way of living, a way that will help me improve my health instead of being detrimental for me. We have to remember that every time I eat and choose my food, I am either increasing my health or causing damage to my health. So if I want to finish with the old way of thinking, out with the old, then I need to replace it with something new and pleasant for me. So that's the P. What else could be pleasant for me that will help me stop thinking about the ice cream that I want to eat? So you can substitute this old way of thinking with something that will cause pleasure for you, that it will feel good and it won't harm your body. One of the things that I do when I'm craving something sweet in the afternoon, it's that I like to have bananas frozen in my freezer and also strawberries, and I put them in my blender and I turn them into ice cream, and I add a little bit of peanut butter, and that for me is like ice cream. So delicious. Peanut butter, strawberry, and banana. You can create your own healthy ice creams that will satisfy your sweet tooth. The same way that I use frozen bananas, strawberries, and peanut butter, you can find what is your favorite combination that you can have in the freezer, that you can create a quick ice cream for you that will satisfy that craving of something sweet in the afternoon. I hope these strategies help you achieve the goals you have for your health. That this new way of eating helps you restore your energy, increase your health, and reduce the damage that stress has done in our body. Hopefully you're putting all the strategies together from week 1 to today, and they're helping you feel healthy and full of life. May you discover a new way of eating that will help you increase your health, and hopefully I'll see you again next class.